let me introduce myself in a quick, short way so that we will be more understanding with each other. Okay. So I'm Nitin and I'm having 9 years of experience in the IT domain and I have done BTech and MBA. Okay. And I'm providing uh, from the past 5 years, I have been serving few of the skills like AWS, Linux, data analytics, SQL, and data science. Okay, so let's talk about the scope of the demo. Today, what we are discussing in the today's session, we were discussing about the computing services introduction and EC2 instance. Okay, and in this session, in this course, we have covering the syllabus. We have covering from the first one, like introduction of the cloud, what is AWS, IAM, identity, access and management, simple storage services that is also called as S3, and EC2, elastic compute cloud, RDS on AWS, Route 53, VPC, high availability architecture, that's also called the HHA, Beanstalk, CFN, AWS Lambda, AWS CloudWatch, and AWS DevOps introduction. And we will also do some practices or interview sessions so after the course. So now we have few of the add-on topics here, some of the like agile or scrum methodologies, which will help you guys to understand how you can tackle the project management or how you can be a AWS engineer. Okay. So in this session, in this course, we will tackling or covering the global certification, which we have like AWS Certification Solution Architect. And the first step will be for the AWS Certification Solution Architect, that will be practitioner, after that associate. And from the start of the associate, so we will covering the syllabus of this. Okay, so let's start about the introduction of the cloud computing. In this introduction of the cloud computing, we will cover introduction of the cloud computing, advantages, cloud computing method, modes, deployments, and AWS infrastructure. So let's talk about the cloud computing. What is cloud computing? Cloud computing is the on-demand delivery of IT resources over the internet with pay-as-you-go technologies, services such as computing power, storage, and databases on an as needed basis from a cloud provider like AWS, Amazon Web Services. So, guys, we all know about that the cloud computing. That means pay as you go pricing. That means you don't need to set up your infrastructure in your premises. Let's suppose I'm giving you one example, real time example. Like if someone wants to open a IT company, so what they need in the current era, they need only go to the AWS services and got some subscription or some instances plans. Like if you want to run a application over the cloud and you want a virtual machine, or in the virtual machine they will be providing you the hard disk, RAM, storage, backup services. Okay, so these are the things which we cover in the cloud computing. So Amazon is the provider that provides the services in a pay as you go pricing. That means if you want a little smaller version of the resources, like you want only 2 GB RAM, you want only 120 GB hard disk, you want only 250 GB hard disk, you want you want only like a two CPUs in that. So what it will do, they will manage your price as per your requirements. Okay, so in this cloud computing, you are covering you are covering that whatever you resources are consuming, you have you need to have pay only that much. Okay, so in the current era we have lot of providers like AWS, Amazon services, Azure, we have GCP, we have. So these are the providers which are giving the cloud computing services. Okay. So now moving to the cloud computing working. In this, uh, we will understand about the how cloud computing will work. Okay. Cloud computing provide a simple way to access servers, storage, databases, and a broad set of applications services over the internet. A cloud service platform such as Amazon Web Services owns and maintains the network connected hardware required for these application services, while you provision and use what you need via a web application. So in this, you in the cloud computing, you will provide some access about the servers, storage, databases, and broad set of application services over the internet. In the computing, you can run your instance, you can create your virtual machine, you can create your VPC, private cloud, you can create some VPN, virtual private networking. So these are the very essential topics which we will cover in this cloud computing. And in the cloud computing working architecture, like Amazon providing the services and they maintain network connected hardwares by the help of you can run your applications, your servers. Okay. Next point we have what are the benefits of the cloud computing. Okay. We have lot of benefits from the cloud computing. We can uh, we have to invest low money in this and we have to scale we can scale the if our instance or application wants to scale, so we can do scaling. And if we want any server, so we can terminate that server or we can leave that server, or after that we no need to pay for the cloud. Okay. So we have few benefits over here. Agility: the cloud gives you easy access to a broad range of technologies so that you can innovate faster and build nearly anything that you can imagine. You can quickly spin up resources as you need them, from infrastructure services such as compute, storage, and databases to Internet of Things, machine learning, data lakes, and analytics, and much more. In the agility, you can use too many services like infrastructure services, like compute services, like storage S3 service, database, RDS services, and many more, like Internet of Things, IoT, machine learning, also data lake and analytics. Okay. Second point is elasticity. What is elasticity, guys? With computer cloud computing, you don't have to over provision resources up front to handle peak levels of the business activities in the future. Instead, you provision the amount of resources that you actually need. You can scale these resources up or down to instantly grow and shrink capacity as a business needs changes. So in the elasticity, we already discussed in the things about like whenever we want to scale our applications, so we can understand these like elasticity with the example of like you guys ever seen your matches over the Netflix or the Hotstars. So you feel that there are thousands of crores or like too many crores of people are subscribed over there and watching the live matches. And so do you think that any point comes in your mind like there are a lot of pupils are watching the Hotstar or Netflix, why they are not buffering their applications, or during the live match, why they are not buffering? Because cloud computing provide the auto scaling services. By the help of auto scaling, your application will increase your application on instances automatically. With the help of auto scaling, it will scale their applications and according to the requirement, according to the customer visited over the website. So that's why they are not creating some buffering over the live match during the match. So that's why we use the elasticity. So elasticity is the important thing of the cloud computing benefits. Okay. So next one is the cost saving. The cloud allows you to trade fixed expenses such as data centers and physical servers for the variable expenses and only pay for IT as you consume it. Plus, the variables expenses are much lower than what you would pay to do itself uh, yourself because of the economics of scales. So, cost saving is also a very much essential point in that you cost cutting your investments or expenses or other miscellaneous wages. Okay, so in the traditional one, the IT owners, what they do, they have to the server infrastructure in their premises. In that, they have to build some servers, some windows, some networking setups they are required, and in that they have some like a power supply they also want. Okay, so in these scenarios, they have burned their lot of investment. So after the cloud computing, they have only invest small amount to run their applications. So whenever you have to run your application, you need only to create a EC2 instance over the AWS, and after that, whatever resources you will require, you have to pay only for that. Okay, like if you want to run any application over the cloud, so what are the things you have to pay for that? Like you have to pay for the RAM, you have to pay for the storage, you have to pay for the S3 bucket, you have to pay for the hard disk. So those are the resources. By this, you can only pay for what you are consuming for that. Okay. So next point, deploy globally in minutes. With the cloud, you can expand the new geography region and deploy globally in minutes. For example, AWS has infrastructure all over the world, so you can deploy your applications in multiple physical locations with just a few clicks. Putting application in closer proximity to end users reduces latency and improve their expenses. So deployment, that is a very essential part in the application. So deployment in globally in minutes. So in the Amazon AWS services, we have lot of availability zones and regions. So according to our requirement, we can run our instance, we can run our virtual machine, we can run our applications over the any region, any availability zone. Like we are working over the Mumbai, and if we want to run our applications over the Nigeria, our USA, or any other country, or any specific region, so you can do that. Okay, deployment is very easy in any physical area or any geographical area. Okay, guys. So now moving to the type of cloud computing. We have uh, three types of cloud computing. So, okay, let's discuss about that. There are three main type of cloud computing, including infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Each type of cloud computing provides different level of control, flexibility, and management so that you can select the right set of services for your needs. So basically, we have three types of cloud computing methods. First is infrastructure as a service. Second one is platform as a service, and third one is software as a service. We can call in a short term IaaS and PaaS and SaaS. So let's discuss about the one by one. Okay. So move on to IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So IaaS, infrastructure as a service, it provides scalable and virtualized computing resources like servers, storage, and networking over the internet. In this service, users can have full control over the infrastructure, having customization and management access of the virtual machine, storage, and networking components. So, infrastructure as a service, you are in these services, we will provide or we are created some servers, some instances, some storage, and some other networks as per our requirement. Okay, so we have few of the examples over here for the IaaS. So what are those? Amazon Web Services, EC2 instance, Elastic Compute, Cloud Computing. Okay, so that is the one service which will provide our instance. Okay, another one's Microsoft Azure virtual machines. By the IaaS, we can create our instance with the help of virtual machines. With the instance, what is instance, guys? Instance is a virtual machine. Okay, let's suppose we have three applications. One are working. One is working over the Java environment. One is working over the Linux environment, and one is working for the Windows environment. So for these applications, what we need to do, we need to create three instances, three virtual machines over the cloud, and we will run all of the applications in the different environments instead of running in a one application over the one server. So we can utilize our resources and we can reduce our costs by the help of cloud computing. So next one we have platform as service, PaaS. Okay, so what is that, guys? It provides a platform and a environment for developers to build, deploy, and manage applications without dealing with the underlying infrastructure, like application without dealing with the underlying infrastructure. It offers tools and services such as deployment, framework, databases, middleware, streamlining the application deployment life cycle. So in that, mainly developers are using that for the building the deployment purposes. Like they have built their code and they want to deploy over the other platforms. So that's why they use the PaaS. Okay. So few of the examples we have: Google App Engine, Microsoft Azure application. So next one is software as a service. So let's discuss also this one. SaaS, software as a service. SaaS delivers software applications over the internet on the subscription basis. It eliminating the need for users to install, maintain, or update the software locally. With this service, user can access the application from any device with an internet connection, enabling flexibility and accessibility. And Google Workspace, formerly G Suite, Microsoft Access, Soft Office 365, and Salesforce. So, software as a service. In this, we will, like, those are softwares will provide as a applications over the internet. Okay, it eliminate the need for the users. So let's have a real example, real time example for the software as a service. We all know about the Gmail, and we uh, might get the several mails over the Gmail, and Gmail is the example of the software as a service because we no need to install any software over the any hardware, or we no need to require for any processor, no need to require any RAM for that. So we can access this Gmail from where we want to access, like from the geographical location, no need to bar to access this application. So these are the SaaS software as a service. And few of the examples also there, like a Google Workspace, Google Docs, Google Spreadsheet also there, and few more also. So now discuss about the cloud computing models. So each model has its own features. It's important to understand all cloud computing models very clearly. Okay, so let's talk about that. Computing deployment models, they are different approaches in managing and setting up the cloud services, including cloud computing deployment models such as public, private, hybrid, community, multi-cloud deployments. These deployments provide scalability, control, and flexibility with the fulfilling spatial benefits, meeting to various goals and demands of a business. So let's talk about the different deployments model of the cloud. First one about the public clouds. So what are those? Public clouds are managed by third parties which provides cloud services over the internet to the public. These services are available as per you Googling model. They offer solutions for minimizing IT infrastructure costs and become a good option for handling peak loads on the local infrastructure. Public clouds are the go-to option for a small enterprises which can start their businesses without large upfront investment by completely relying on public infrastructure on their IT needs. So few of the examples we have Amazon EC2, IBM, Azure, GCP. So public cloud, what is public cloud? They are they are the cloud services. They are managed by the third parties. Okay, and in this we can access several services to the cloud, and publicly they are available for all of the internet users. And in this public cloud we can use, like, if we want to open any infrastructure or any small IT business, so it will help to us. Like in the small enterprises we need only low resources, few of the resources we want in the when we start up a business. So cloud computing will help us to reduce our investments and reduce our or manpowers. Okay, so we have few examples: Amazon EC2, IBM, Azure, and GCP. So let's talk about private cloud. Private clouds are distributed systems that work on the private infrastructure and provide the users with dynamic provision of computing resources instead of a pay as you go model in private cloud. They could be other schemes that manage the uses of cloud and proportionally billing of the different departments on the section of enterprise. Private cloud providers are HP data centers, Ubuntu Elastic Private Cloud, and Microsoft. So in the private cloud, like if someone wants or if any organization wants their private infrastructure for their applications or any virtual machines, so cloud computing also provide him the private cloud infrastructure. After that they will also find some options there, like what they have requirement for the small business, medium business, or large business. So as per their requirement they also provide some investment according to the requirement. So few of the private cloud providers or services are VMware, vCloud Suite, OpenStack, Cisco Secure Cloud, Dell Cloud Solution. Okay, so let's talk about the hybrid cloud. So a hybrid cloud is a heterogeneous distributed system formed by combining facilities of the public cloud and private cloud. For this reason, they are also called heterogeneous cloud. So we can understand that like hybrid cloud is the combination of private cloud or public cloud. So that's why we call hybrid cloud. And also we known about that heterogeneous cloud. The major drawback of the private deployments is the inability of the scale on demand and efficiently address peak loads. Like in the private cloud, what are the drawbacks? Like we cannot scale our virtual machines or instances on the demand basis, or we cannot find out the loads, and we cannot, as per the loads we cannot scale in a certain way. Okay, so that's why we call this hybrid cloud. Here public clouds are needed, hence a hybrid cloud takes advantage of the public and private cloud. Okay, and we have few of the examples of the hybrid cloud: AWS outputs, Azure Stack, Google Anthos, IBM Cloud Satellites, Oracle Cloud at customer. So we have these. So let's talk about the AWS global infrastructure. The AWS global infrastructure is built around AWS regions and availability zones, and AWS region is a physical location in the world where we have multiple availability zones. Availability zones consist one or more discrete data centers, each with redundant power, networking, connectivity housed in a separate facilities. These availability zones offer you ability to operate production application and databases that are more highly available, fault tolerant, and scalable than would be possible from a single data center. So, infrastructure, we have two essential terms like AWS regions and availability zones. Regions are like physical locations where we have the multiple availability zones. Okay. In availability zones, we have more than one or data centers. So in which we have few of the services like redundant power, networking, connectivity, and separate other facilities. So by the help of these facilities, we can run our application in any region or any availability zone. So let's talk about the how many numbers of availability zones or regions they are providing. Okay, the AWS cloud span 105 availability zones within 33 geographic regions, with announced with planned 21 more availability zones and 7 more AWS regions in Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Thailand, Taiwan, and the AWS European Sovereign Cloud. So 105 availability zones we have in the 33 geographical regions, and they are announcing that like 21 more availability zones will be introduced in real short time. So these are the things in the AWS, and what we will cover after the course. Like we will cover few of the projects, like one of two projects we have, like a Windows virtual machine deployment, how you can deploy your virtual machines over the any operating system like Linux, you want Ubuntu, you want CentOS, you want Windows. Okay. And second one is use CloudFormation to launch an EC2 web server. So with the help of few of the services like CloudFormation, you can how you can use your AWS instance like EC2 instance or virtual machines. IAC, that is a infrastructure as a code, like a Terraform is a tool by which you can run your run your programmings, and you can create uh, by the automate task with like a 100 of the virtual machines in a one go. Okay, so these are the projects or related projects we will do after that. Okay, and what are the prerequisites for the lab setup? Like we have to maintain some operating system, some hard disk, memories, and CPUs, and also we have to create some free tier account over the Amazon services so that you can run your AWS account and you can create the instance over the cloud computing. Okay, guys, and after that we will providing some certifications over the Amazon certification, some training notes, some support for the sample resume, or some training supports. Okay, and we will provide also some mock interviews. What are the basic fundamentals and what are the interview sessions will be going on for the as per the interview sessions, as per the requirement basis. Okay, guys, and in the certification part, we will cover two certifications over. Mostly data we will cover in the like AWS certification cloud practitioner, that is the entry level exam, and there are a lot of multi level choices, and length will be exam for the 90 minutes and cost will be 100 USD. And we will cover in this syllabus 90% of this certification. Okay, and next one is the next letter will be AWS Certification Solution Architect Associate, and after that associate you will be covering the professional, that will be the second level. Okay, and in this certification we will also cover the 70% of the data or the syllabus in this our syllabus. Okay, and the examination mode will be same for that, and the timing will be 130 minutes and cost will be 150 USD. Okay, guys.